So hey guys, I know it's kind of only getting towards the end of July here, but I'm starting to try to put together a plan here on what firewood's going to get moved in. I figured I'd kind of take you guys along a little bit, show you kind of the logic of why I do it the way I do, as well as share a few other tips with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. So I know you guys are probably thinking, why so early here? Hunting season's not that far around the corner, another month and a half or something. And once that starts, I usually like to spend my time and energy kind of focusing on that. We also keep a pretty large abundance of firewood, so drying time is not really an issue. If I had cut a bunch of firewood this spring and was hoping to be burning it this fall, I don't think I'd be quite thinking about this as early. So when moving wood in, I usually try to start with moving a bunch of softwood in first, then move in a bunch of hardwood, sprinkle with some softwoods, and then of course then finish off with a bunch of softwood. Kind of my logic or my thinking behind this is, you know, as we move into the fall time, we're just having little short fires to kind of just get the temp up and kind of try to keep it steady. And as we move into the colder temperatures, then we'll kind of utilize more of those harder woods. Some of the advantage of hardwood is, of course, you get longer burn times. And then finishing off the season, then using a bunch of that softwood again. So another thing I like to do is use a moisture meter. I picked one of these up. It's definitely not the nicest thing out there, but I picked one up off of eBay for about 12 bucks. That's with shipping, and it's just this real cheap thing. I don't expect it to last super long, but I've had it probably a year and a half already, and it seems like it's still working pretty well. So I've seen guys do this kind of a variety of ways. I've seen some guys where they'll take a piece of their log, just shove it in here at the end and take the reading. I've seen other guys where they'll stick it over here on the side, take a reading. And then I've seen other guys, and this is kind of my preferred way, is actually to split the log open and then take a reading on that nice freshly exposed side to kind of get a true accurate reading. So if you look at this log here, I mean, this is a chunk of oak, so this stuff dries pretty slow, but it's pretty grayed out. You got quite a bit of checking down here at the ends of the logs. And if I take a reading here, you can see I got 15%. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. Now if I take another reading on the side that I just split open and exposed here, you see how much darker the color of wood is and everything. And I shove it in, and see I get 42%. That's as high as my meter will read this, and kind of, you know, like I said, it's a little bit of a cheap meter. So I'm sure it's possibly even more wet than that. So this piece of wood up here, if I just kind of stuck it on the end grains, let's do one more, I guess. Stick it right in the very end. I got 16% sticking at the very end. So it definitely appears like it's dry if you don't split it open, but after you split it open, you can see that this actually chunk of wood is still very, very wet. So why is moisture content such a big thing? A lot of the new EPA stoves are really great for real long burn times. I've even heard of guys getting like these 23-hour burn times with burning pine in some of these new stoves. Like the Blaze King series and stuff like that. But they are very picky about wood. They need to be real dry, and then you can kind of get that secondary burn where it reburns some of those gases and stuff. For us, we have an old 70s technology stove, so we could probably burn some pretty green stuff in there. But the main driving factor for us is, one, we want to kind of get the most heat out of our wood. And burning off that moisture out of the wood is obviously taking heat out of our house, as well as keeping our chimney at a cooler temperature, because that fire can't burn quite as hot, and then creating creosote, which then of course is a fire hazard, as well as more work for me when it comes time to brush the chimney. So I don't use this thing a ton, but it does kind of help us in kind of doing experiments and finding what kind of works best for us. We can kind of play around with different ways to stack wood, different species of wood. I mean, obviously there's a big difference on seasoning time from, you know, ash to oak. Ash actually is one of my favorite woods because it's a real nice hardwood. It's got a pretty close burn time to oak, maybe not quite as much, but it's only got to lose 15% of its moisture to kind of get down into that low 20s and kind of lower to be burnable, where oak is quite a bit more. And it, well, at least for me, I have found that it oftentimes takes 2 or 3 years to actually season fully. So I know this video is probably getting a little long here. We'll kind of wrap it up. Obviously, I'm a little passionate about firewood. I really enjoy handling it. I like heating with it. I really enjoy getting outside and kind of harvesting it and dealing with it. So I just thought this was some information that could maybe help someone else out. If you guys got kind of tips and tricks that you guys like to share, I'd really encourage you guys to leave a comment below or even do a video response. I'm always up for trying new things. A lot of times you hear about, oh, this is the way you do it, and there's no other way, and And sometimes you get a real eye-opening from time to time trying something different. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, let me know by clicking that thumbs up and subscribing. Thanks for watching.